Welcome to Reading the Green, our golf and fantasy sports show. My name is Mike, Jordan, and Kyle on Tuesday, April 9th. Episode 105, guys. It's Masters Week. Definitely the best show of the year. Masters Week, and a little bit of Valero talk. What's going on?
Yeah, that's why we had to break out the in-person pod with the setup in the Minneapolis studio here.
I love Kyle. Your wife is out for the evening, and so I come over and there's a folding table with a tablecloth and chairs set up.
We got our beers ready to go.
Pulling out all the stops.
She's gonna be very impressed when she gets home and sees this.
Well, she won't see it till later, so.
I think the bar is low.
I texted her and told her to come down.
You guys look ready to go. We got Masters gear on. I have a Sand Valley hat that's Masters colors.
Yeah.
You got that going for you.
The last time I was on the pod 3 weeks ago, I wore the same shirt.
Hey, I got my Masters shirt courtesy of listener Greg from last year. Thanks, Greg. Sent this to me, so appreciate that.
Nice. You guys remember last time I switched the picture behind me?
Mm-hmm.
Someone at work was like, "Wait, did your picture change?"
Oh.
And I was like, "Wow, yeah, it did." She's like, "Really? Guys don't ever do that stuff." And I was like, "This is the one nail I get in my house where I can put up whatever I want."
That's impressive.
I texted you guys a picture of the art that I put up in the living room this week. Now, I don't get a nail, I get a frame TV that I'm the only one that has the app for. And so I put up a little 12th green Hogan Bridge print that I bought on Etsy for $4, which is a little steep for a Samsung frame print digital copy. $4 was a lot.
I think our Christmas purchase was $3. That was our most expensive one yet, and we get to read it.
Yeah, usually I buy like 25 in a pack for 96 cents.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it looks pretty sharp. So we're gonna jump right into golf. Kind of skip some of the opening topics. I do want to get through the beer lineup really quick. So I'm currently into Modist Day of Another Dream, which Kyle, I think you had a couple of weeks ago on the pod. Pretty good West Coast. I commented it's a little oaty. Coming off of, there's 2 cans up here, so Barrel Theory, Shooter McGavin, excellent double IPA from Barrel Theory. Golf ball dimple pattern. I don't think I ever realized that the white can was golf ball dimples.
What?
I just never.
It's literally called Shooter McGavin.
No, I get that part, but I never actually looked at the can. Oh, those are dimples.
How does that not look like a golf ball, guys?
I get it now. I get it. And then
no comment. Yeah. If you can't say nice things. Right?
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
What else is up here, Kyle? You got some of the Chicago beers.
Yeah, I was in Chicago this past weekend. Jordan might know more about this brewery than I, but we had Maplewood, 2 different brews from them. Son of Juice IPA.
Okay.
We stumbled across this, our first beer in town, after an 8-hour train ride, and then transferred to an L, and with 2 kids and dragging bags and everything, and walking 6 blocks to our Airbnb. So we were really ready for a beer. It tasted great then, but we continued to drink it all weekend. It was good. But then found a session of theirs as well called the Crushinator. So
yeah,
right.
They make a ton of good IPAs, and that's their original was Juicy Pants, and this is Son of Juice.
Okay, all right, I like it.
All right, well, let's talk. Let's get the Valero out of the way, which I wish I could do a whole show on the Valero Texas Open.
Yeah, let's just call it done and move on. Who won?
No. Well, someone called Akshay Bhatia won. But what more do people want out of professional golf at this point? All we got to get rid of, if it's not a major, if it's not an elevated event, if it doesn't have all the star power, what are we doing with our time? I think this was an excellent reminder that there's really good golf to be played every single week on the PGA Tour. And yeah, you got a couple of kind of Tier B guys that were duking it out, but every single tournament, every player on the PGA Tour has the ability to literally go to another planet. And that's what we saw Bhatia for 63 holes, and then we saw the same on McCarthy for 9 holes. So I appreciated the golf, and I think any golf fan should.
I wish I would have saw more of it. As I mentioned, we were traveling, and you had the Iowa Women's National Championship game at the same time. We were in the airport, so didn't get to see a whole lot. Got some text updates, and then obviously following the PGA app. So I have it on DVR. I need to go back and watch that back nine because it did sound epic, especially Denny's run, and then I want to see the wedge shot just plunk. Like, can you give us a little description there?
So first of all, I mean, for those that weren't tuned in, so Akshay wire to wire, and the guy's got plenty of talent. And we're gonna hear you're gonna hear all about it this week at the Masters, that he was in the drive, chip, and putt inaugural field 10 years ago.
He's a lefty.
As a 12-year-old, he's a lefty. We know what lefties do at Augusta. He's just this wiry kid that's got a little bit of spunk, and he goes out wire to wire and is dusting the field through 63 holes. He's got a 6-shot lead, and so first of all, I'm not sure that like, and me myself included, like truly understand how good the worst PGA Tour pros are at golf. Like how much better they are than anybody that at golf. So then take someone like Batia.
Well, you're the best person we know. So.
Yeah. And it's like I can't even comprehend it. Every single player on the PGA Tour, on the Korn Ferry Tour, on whatever tour, has shot a bajillion 61s in their life, messing around on the weekends, 59s, 58s, whatever. Like these guys are really good, and it certainly takes the right things converging for Batia to go out and beat a really good field by 6 shots over 63 holes. It's like that needs to be appreciated, and I would have been fine seeing him win by 6 shots because I would have said, well, that's really good golf. So he does have a 6-shot lead, and then Denny McCarthy, who literally has nothing to play for other than his first PGA Tour win because he's already in the Masters field, goes out and birdies 8 of his 9 last holes.
It's crazy.
It gets amazing
what
what
like 28?
Yeah, zero pressure will do to you. He's got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose.
And I wish I had the exact tweet in front of us. It was courtesy of Rick Rungood, but on his site right now too. Akshay and Denny both gained 21 strokes to the field. Like just because they dusted everyone.
How many did Denny gain
just
on the last 9? Because it had to have been almost half of it.
He chipped in for birdie. It's right when whoever was doing the commentating was like, "This is totally makeable."
Can you do back 9 only? No.
I think
on Data Golf you could go back. And
I would have to edit. But I want to say the stat was that would have won either of them would have won every event relative to the field with this strokes gained in like the last 5 years, majors included.
Unbelievable golf that was being played. I mean, and for Batia to hang in there, and they both birdied 18. So, and Batia was the one that rolls in the putt behind Denny from 10 feet or whatever it was, and dislocates his shoulder on the celebration, on the fist pump. So
I saw all the narrative around but he actually dislocated his shoulder.
It was an aggressive right arm, or maybe it was his left arm, like triple fist pump, and he said he's got a weak socket and it pops out a little bit.
So he's done it,
and he pops it back in, and so they get to their 3rd shots on the par 5, and I think he's 20 yards ahead of McCarthy. And so McCarthy, first of all, lays the sod over his wedge from 100 yards. Right? It comes up straight into the creek. That creek is 20 yards short of the pin. And he later, in his press conference, says that a bug landed on his ball. And he tried to back off. There was some noise in the crowd. Comes back to his ball. Bug's still on it. And decides to hit. And he said to himself something like, I can't let this bother me. I'm just going to hit.
That's something that we idiots would do.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say, hey, a bug, I'm going to give you a ride. Let's
go.
Well, that's kind of
like standing over a ball and like farting, and you're like, yeah, whatever, let's just hit this. And you're like, we do all these, that is the difference between them and us. They stop, reset, and do it.
Well, so that literally happened. It was a bug on his ball, as he claimed he didn't want to back off.
Did we see that on camera?
Couldn't tell you.
Sound like a...
And so he lays the sod over it, comes up short in the water. So at this point now, Akshay's going to hit, and he decides that his shoulder's feeling a little sore, and he's going to go and get the trainer. So he gets the trainer. So now we have like a 15-minute delay between when Denny hit his ball in the water and Akshay's going to hit his approach from 80 yards to try to, basically close out this win.
Just really making him stew about that poor bug.
So he gets some tape on it, and goes and hits his shot to 4 feet.
Well, didn't he have to didn't he ask to go and private?
Yeah. No, it was it was what it was. Denny had already hit in the water. The chance of Akshay, he's going to hit it. In most cases, he's going to hit it 30 feet left of the hole and just 2-putt for the win. But so Akshay ends up then rolling in the 5-footer, 4-footer, whatever, and Presley comes out to greet him, and they still seem a little icy. We don't get to do the whole Presley breakdown, but to me, that's why I wanted him to win, because that relationship is fascinating.
You just wanted to see her.
I wanted to see if they
tomorrow
actually
at the Masters.
I want to see if they actually care to meet each other's presence.
Wearing her big white caddy outfit as she caddies for him in the par 3 tournament.
We'll save that for the Silverado pod or something like that.
Right,
so
can we have our annual talk about how boring baseball is now that Kyle's making us watch it?
Not
while we're doing
now.
this?
Well, NBA game just got over, so we got a TV right behind the pod here. And of course, we need something
is there like a
playing
practice round at the Valero that I could watch instead?
We need this to make sure you stay engaged.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be zoned out here.
Well, anyways, nothing else to say about the Valero. I think Akshay is a talent that I want to see him to succeed on the PGA Tour. Denny's my guy, UVA grad. I'd love to see him get his first win too. But both guys are in the field this week. Both guys are getting plenty of airtime. It was really cool, and so I'm not. Hopefully, the Masters can find a way to drum up some drama to top that. But that was pretty wild.
We've had some good finishes lately.
Yeah, we have. I don't know what more people want. Real quick, RTG housekeeping, listener league. Bo McBrayer, writer for Fantasy Pros, takes down the RTG league for the first time. So congrats to Bo. Ness 0163 in second place, and then Kins Mobile 1. I think that's 3 podiums in a row for Kins Mobile, finishing in third. Lineup, Noren, Ludwig, high power index plays. I think those guys ultimately paid off. It required some Saturday magic to climb up the leaderboard, but if you're playing chalky Noren, Ludwig, I think they did enough. The bad, we'll talk about it in the landmines. Ben On was our smash play this week, and that backfired.
Oh boy, Benny.
Yeah, that backfired. Gutsiest play of the week goes to Ron Kloss over at BetSperts, Lanto Griffin. I had seen some stuff on Twitter of Lanto doing some pretty crazy stuff, making cuts without hitting the ball all that great. So if you found a way to Lanto Griffin this week, then good for you. And then Spencer Aguiar at Rotoballer, Rory, Noren, Fitz, Keith, Mav, Laird, Baddeley, CT Pan, 8 plays, 8 cuts. Good work from Spencer. I think he's had a couple of nice weeks in a row here. So we'll retweet some of Spencer's stuff for the Masters. He's got a couple of good columns out, and I'm interested in tailing him this week. Other landmines besides Ben On, Billy Horschel. I think, Kyle, you saw the Billy Horschel fade coming. I said he was too expensive, but Ben On was the $9,000 smash play. Sounded like it backfired for you.
Yeah, Benny hurt. It was a crappy tourney, which has been the MO lately. So let's just forget it. Move on.
Jordan, you got the one and done leaderboard up?
Yeah. Not a lot of movement this week. We had 13 people pick Hideki or Tommy Fleetwood. Which they only got 7th place, so they got $289,000. So no crazy updates. Champles is still in first, even though he didn't pick anyone this week.
I was gonna text you guys this. Can we break that down? Was that strategic or idiotic?
It was idiotic because I just texted him, and he goes, "I forgot there wasn't a random pick assigned. If you forget."
See, it's funny. I thought Champles was actually a friend of listener Derek, so I was giving Derek's grief. I'm like, Champles didn't pick anyone. And he's probably like, why do I care?
Yep.
I thought maybe it was strategic, and you're thinking, Valero, why am I gonna waste a stud right now when I know nobody's really trying? Rory, Spieth, Ludwig, these guys ain't gonna try this week, so. Why am I going to waste a bullet on a stud? So I thought maybe he's like, hey, I'm going to sit this one out.
Nope.
No.
Just forgot. I try and text people as I see it, but me being on vacation last week, I almost forgot to do everything. I think you texted me, don't forget DraftKings lineup like Wednesday night. I was like, oh, I gotta go do all of these things.
Kyle, did we said we were going to workshop Jordan's Survivor League that we have been eliminated from already. But did we have a pick for
Did
the
you pick
winner?
last week?
We started to talk about it, and then you said we'll come back to that.
And we never did.
We never came back to it, but I'm
I think I
afraid
said
we would
Corey
have ended.
Connors was probably like the guy, but
We were going to be between Benny and Connors, so
Okay.
I'm going to say we would have landed on Connors.
obviously,
Yeah,
So
obviously.
we're still alive.
Well, did you
Yeah.
see? I mean, we'll get in. Maybe we get into
we
it.
have
here.
Scheffler this week.
Did you?
No, we would have used Scheffler. Well, yes, we would. We used
At
Scheffler when you were gone.
Yeah.
We used him
At
in
the-
Houston.
Yeah. At
Yeah.
Houston.
What? Why would you waste him in Houston?
Because that was a deadly
Oh
game
yeah,
this
we
week.
were gonna use Brooks here. That was the plan all along.
Correct.
Was
Yeah,
Brooks at
we
the
were gonna use,
Masters?
well, Brooks or Rom.
Yeah.
There is in the Sandman pools a Survivor re-up.
Yeah.
If you saw that, we did. We should
Yeah.
talk about this
Should we get
offline.
in?
I kind of want to get in.
We have to pick two every
You
week.
do have to
That
pick
gets-
two every
that
week.
gets dangerous. Yeah.
Sounds fun. Okay,
Yeah.
guys.
There are
No.
only 8 people left in the Survivor. Someone had Ricky last week.
Oops.
Or this
Ooh,
past
that would
week.
have been. That's aggressive.
Oops. Without further ado, can we please spend the rest of the time talking about the Masters?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Well, the Masters is a golf tournament that features 89 this year. 89 of, I'm not going to say the world's best, 89 golfers that the Masters would like to invite to the tournament at Augusta National in Augusta, Georgia.
15 that are just there to play Augusta.
You know what?
Yeah.
If you have the opportunity to, I highly suggest you say yes.
Yes, exactly.
Oh wait, those are the previous winners. They're old.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can go play anytime
But just
with a member. I think they still play with a member though,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
if they've won.
well, some of them, right? If you won, you're a member, right?
No,
You're asking questions I don't have the answer
I'm pretty
to.
sure you are not a member, but you get your locker's always there. You can golf. I saw an interview with Mike Weir on it. We can.
There's a segue there. We'll come back to that at the end of the show.
Coming back
Yeah.
to that. So here we go. Our Masters preview, Augusta National, Augusta, Georgia. I hope 99.99% of our listeners know exactly what's going on this week. Jon Rahm wins last year as a member of the PGA Tour. He's coming back as a member of the LIV Tour. Real quick though, 89 players, top 50 in ties making the cut. There will be a 36-hole cut. No 10-shot rule. Hasn't been 10-shot rule in 3-4 years, but
Yeah.
no 10-shot rule. Top 50 in ties, 89 players. You can immediately write off 15 of them. Toss in a few more of the AMs.
What wasn't it Bernard Langer a couple years ago? A guy like top 10?
I mean, Sam Bennett last year.
Sam Bennett was in there, so I mean, let's just say
Phil?
you're immediately writing off 15-ish players every week. So making the cut here, 6 of 6, 5 of
The
6.
Sandy Lyles. Well, he's
Yeah.
not playing this year. But Sandy
6 of
Lyles.
6, 5 of 6 in DFS isn't going to be a huge deal. You're going to see a lot of players make the cut.
Yeah.
But that's just what happens here. So, Kyle, what gets it done at Augusta National?
Length, specifically mid to long irons. You're going to have a lot of longer approaches. Around the green, creativity. You'll hear that a lot. It's a very sticky course history, specifically around putting experience. Obviously, no debutante has ever won,
Since Fuzzy Zeller
since
and
Fuzzy
Sonny
Zeller
Zeller.
in the modern
Yeah.
game. Lake putting and the funky green complexes. I'm sure a lot of people saw the viral video this week of
I saw it.
dropping from uphill and it rolling out like 40 feet.
35.
Yeah, and then uphill it
4
goes
feet.
4 feet.
Yeah.
And it was not a steep slope by any means.
No, it was just like across the green on 13.
Yeah. And then par 5 scoring. Outside of some of the crazy winners in the past, par 5 scoring has been huge. Just to highlight some of the changes, I think it was talked about a lot in 22, how 11 and 15 were lengthened. In 23, 13 was lengthened. And now in 2024, the second, which is a par 5, they actually moved the tee box back into the left 10 yards. So it's going to create a little bit of a different shot shape, and that was the easiest hole last year. So they're actively changing it every year to try to.
That's
attack
the
modern game.
dog hill.
Dog leg.
Dog leg downhill.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the
It
big
is-
bunker right in front of the green.
So that they're trying to bring that right fairway bunker into play a little bit more, I think, and just continually. What I love about it is they're continually trying to challenge these guys off the tee more.
It's, so kind of to summarize, elite golfers win the Masters.
That have played here often.
Yeah, and this is the only tournament of the year, and I think, frankly, because it's one of the few tournaments that have played the same golf course for 90 years, that you actually are able to do this. But I love the columns that just go with like, the winner profile looks like this, and you just start eliminating players until you get to like 6 or 8 guys that fit the winner's profile. But to your point, like, I think the average, I think it was Spieth and one other won on their second trip, but like, you need at least three trips to be able to start to show some form. I mean, Zalatoris obviously has been an anomaly there too.
I think it's their 6th trip is the average win.
Is the average win? Yeah, okay. It's the sticky course history is really important, but basically elite golfers win the Masters. And you need guys that are going to play. I had it here: premium iron play and excellent scrambling and around the green. You have huge runoffs. You have funky green complexes. Jordan, you're the only one of the 3 of us that have actually been there. And my guess is you can't appreciate things like the size of the bunkers or the change in elevation without actually being there.
Yeah, like you see all the posts like, it's 2 to 3x what you see on TV. But even seeing it in person, 2 to 3, what is 2 to 3 feet?
Yeah.
Or 2 to 3x? Like, if you think it's 1 foot, so it's 3 foot. No, it goes from 3 foot to 9 foot back of the green, in front of the green. It was.
I mean, the bunkers that these
cool.
guys are in, like, you just don't see things like this at the courses that we play when you're standing in bunkers that are 15 feet deep and they're
But with the most
60
perfect
feet wide,
sand you've ever seen, they've used a sifter to get it as fine as possible.
I've really liked it the last 2 years. It helps like convey a little bit of that watching TV, some of their drone usage.
I was just going to say the same thing.
I think it was. I remember specifically the Scotty Kim Smith finish year, them chasing some tee shots with their drone down the stretch, and I'm like, man, you can really tell how it rolls out, or kicks
how
a
uphill
bit.
this green is, and I think about that like on 3. Was it Scotty chipped in on 3 that year from down in front of the green?
Yep.
You don't realize that you couldn't even see the hole from where he was. It's just like it was straight uphill. You're right. The high TV shots just kind of flatten all that out.
Yeah.
I want to come back to. Well, actually, Jordan, why don't we jump into it? Like, can you just give us like the 2-minute recap of like you went for a practice round?
No, Thursday.
No, you went for Thursday.
Thursday, the year Tiger won it.
Won the lottery. Won the ticket lottery.
Yeah.
Took your mom.
Took my mom. We got there. So if anyone's going, everything online says the gates open at 7. Gates open at 7. Don't get there before. Gates open at 7. We got there before 7. There were already 10,000 people in. But it didn't get busy until a couple hours later because most people are there for multiple days.
Yeah.
Right? The corporate people aren't getting there at 7 a.m.
Sure.
to see one guy tee off and then another. But no, it was fun. We bought our chairs, walked out to 17 tee box because you can see 16 green there. Set them up, wrote our names. We brought a Sharpie along so we could write our name on the back. I actually think my favorite spot was 4 green. Par 3. There's like a big bleacher behind the green, but you could walk, it's super downhill and then back up. There's a path down, and then you could walk over to 5 tee box, like through some trees. And right before you got to that path, we were 10 feet off the green, watching.
That's pretty cool.
From over there.
Is it 4 or 6 a really tiered one?
4.
4 has like the
back, front, like the huge bunker, front right. And you are up on the upper tier, 10 feet off the green.
That's cool.
And there was no one standing there. No one set up chairs. We stood there and
it's like the 3M
watched
Open.
them. It was very cool.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I joke, but like obviously we'd all like to go, and I've already made my wife and I have already made the commitment that my birthday is always right around Masters, and so 40th It's 40th or bust. If I don't win the ticket lottery by the time I turn 40, we're going to the Masters for a day. And I saw Greg Chalmers on Twitter this week squawking about the broker prices. It was like someone posted like $7,000 for 2 tickets to the
with like $800 in fees.
Yeah, and I know he was great, and you have no idea where that's coming from, but I had a little bit of like a gulp of like, this is gonna be an expensive trip if I don't win the lottery.
You only turn 40 once.
Well, I know, and that's why it's important. But I feel like I have enough ins to find a broker that isn't going to charge me $1,000 in fee. I hope. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Fingers crossed.
It'll work out.
Or it might be twice as much.
You're putting it into the universe. You're manifesting your destiny here, and it'll work.
Yeah. But when you go, make sure it's for a round.
Right? Not a practice round.
Yeah. Right. I've heard. The practice round, you still get to the experience and everything.
I would still go.
Yeah. If you win a lottery, you're not gonna plan a whole buy tickets.
No.
Correct.
Pay out your nose for the par 3 tournament.
Correct. Yeah.
It's just
a lot of people this week make stories about the merch tent tips, tricks. What's the
buy it all?
Buy it all.
No, so it was still actually one of my. I just like well-run operations, and you literally are walking out with your bags of shit, and they go, carry or ship. I said ship. Walked over. There's 25 UPS workers wearing not UPS clothes, but like just their UPS name tag.
I know, like that. Yeah.
They wrap it up. They tape it shut. You pay. So they weigh it. You pay for it. It showed up a week later. Like they literally must just have a semi behind the building. If they fill it up, it goes. Bring another one in.
That's great.
Because you don't want to carry that around. We were there for
of course not.
10, 12 hours. So it's an experience. But yeah, the merch shop. I wish I would spend more time in it, but it's just like so hectic.
Yeah,
and we wanted to get out and we bought our chairs there.
Then went and put them out there.
We bought it all together, and then went out. Could we have? If we would have just ran in and got the chairs and run out, we probably would have had a better seat. But it doesn't matter.
It's also amazing on that everyone's just so orderly about everything, right?
Oh yeah.
Like you just put your chairs on, no one touches them. You don't have your phones. It's so like pristine.
Yeah. Like we sat in other people's chairs and just got up and left. No one even came and asked us for them.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? It was just like, we just wanted to watch this hole for a little bit. There's 2 chairs. They are tiny chairs.
Sure.
So they don't fit your ass well. They're not comfortable.
Shed a few lbs before you go.
Sit in it for 8 hours on 18 watching everyone come up. It's not a super comfortable camping chair.
Can't wait. Okay, two other topics here before we get into it. First, Jordan, I know you had it up. The Masters menu, obviously a lot gets made. Well, what are we going to talk about before the actual golf tournament? We're going to talk about the past champions dinner menu that they get to choose for the champions dinner this week, which the picture is great. The composite of the players and their jackets and all that. People excited about John Rahm's menu. I think he went like authentic Spanish. I didn't see paella.
Tapas.
Yeah, I didn't see the big paella dish on there.
Paella is more southern Spain. He went back to northern Spain.
Okay.
Yes.
You're the foodie here.
And Sergio did lobster rice, which is ish.
Okay.
Paella-ish.
Well, so Kyle, the bit here is the last dozen years or so. Like, what's the hot and cold? What's your take on the menus?
Well, John Rahm's pretty good. Because I think we're all unified on who was the worst ever. We talked a little bit about this last year, but there's one obvious choice, right?
Yeah.
Did someone serve confetti cake as the dessert?
Frickin' Bubba. Caesar salad, grilled chicken breast, and confetti cake.
Grilled chicken. If you can have some of these chefs make whatever you want, and you chose grilled chicken breast. Let's make the driest, most boring ass food you ever.
So this is 2015.
Tigers wasn't great either. Steak and chicken fajitas. He's won it enough times and he's just run out of ideas.
Get Chili's to cater it.
Yeah. Riblets. I do like, we were talking about this, the food now, it used to be like one item, right? It was Sergio lobster rice, it was, Spieth did barbecue. There were a couple different meats and things, but like now they're all doing 2 main courses, multiple other options. Right? I think there's like 6 Spanish tapas items for his appetizer, and then 2 other food, and then is there a salad?
There was a first course,
and then a choice of main course. Right? They're finally like, oh wait,
that's like a prefix
we
menu.
can run this like a restaurant, not just I want a chicken breast and praise Jesus.
I mean, I think Decky's is still
Decky's
probably
the Wagyu.
I would pick, but Rom's would be up there just because of the amount of variety you get.
Yeah, and tapas is good. That's where we should have told you to go. There's an amazing tapas place in Chicago, Lincoln Park. I didn't even think about it. I haven't thought about it
we have a favorite restaurant.
Oh, what is it?
Right now, 2. I've been twice.
We're distracted. He was in Chicago last week.
I was gonna say, can you share it with the listeners? You guys want to have a side conversation?
Yeah,
sorry, we'll come back to
You
that.
don't remember?
Post-pod.
You don't remember?
I don't remember the name off the top of my head.
Okay, I'll text your wife.
All right. So maybe this plays into it, maybe it doesn't. But we're inching towards an actual Masters fantasy preview. Weirdest winner. You know, what do we say? Like every 4 or 5 years, which unfortunately I feel like that might be this year. Feels like we're on track for it. And if you're Brandel Chambly, you've had a couple of takes recently, which probably point to this, but some really weird winners over the year. And I guess I'll start with my story is, so Charles Schwartzel wins. What someone pull it up. Charles Schwartzel was
2011.
2011. That's what I was going to say. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I know this because it was Sunday was my birthday that year, and I went to a Twins game with my wife. We're not married at the time. With my wife, my dad, and her dad went to a Twins game on April 10th, and I put the Masters on record because we're all going to come back to the house for dinner after, and I didn't want to miss the final round. And so it's on record, and I'm kind of fast forwarding through commercials and all that. Charles Schwartzel is maybe got a 1-shot lead or something like that coming down the stretch. It's like 13-14, and I accidentally bumped the live button on the Xfinity remote. There's a button called live, so if you're watching recorded content, you can just go to live. He's walking up 18, flashes the score. He's got a 3-shot lead or something like that. He ends up, I think he birdied the last 4 holes to win by however many. And it was just this. It was like we had like 2 hours left of content. And it was just my dad's the ultimate. Just he's the kind of type. He's the type that would record something, watch it when we got back, watch it again the next day. Like it was. He was not thrilled.
At least it was your birthday.
At least it was my birthday. So it was like I ruined my own plans.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. So we didn't go back and it's like, okay, let's go to dinner.
That's a good. This story sticks out to you.
Yeah.
I would say the winners or the most out there winner for me is Zach Johnson in 2007, mostly because he won at +1.
Yeah.
And going back to
that's a tough Augusta week.
Yeah, was it weird weather or?
I think it was. I think it was cold. I think it was super cold.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then just Zach Johnson being a 2-time major winner. Don't get me wrong, my Iowa boy Zach Johnson, but he just doesn't seem like a guy that's 2-time major winner.
I think and St. Andrews was, I think, a similar situation where the weather really got weird. Right place, right time.
Yeah.
Had the Midwestern golf game to weather the elements, and certainly, winner over par, Zach Johnson. What do you got, Jordan?
Do we know, is Angel Cabrera in this season? He's out of prison and he's approved to play in PGA sanctioned events.
It's unbelievable.
Has the Masters banned him?
I don't.
He's approved to play in PGA?
Yeah.
I
looked on his Wikipedia.
He's not in the field this week.
December 2023, he was approved to play in PGA.
I remember that.
He probably cannot physically get in the United States.
That's true.
They're like, the PGA Tour is like to see a try.
Yeah. Who did Angel Cabrera beat in a playoff?
Oh, God, I know.
2 players. One of them you'll know. The other one
players,
you will
a
not
three-way
know.
player, 3-way playoff? Well, you're saying we won't know the other player?
Yes.
VJ Singh.
No. It was someone good. It was
I
like
know,
Adam
but-
Scott or something like that. Shoot.
Incorrect.
No, I don't.
Kenny Perry was the one you would know. and a guy named Chad Campbell.
Chad Campbell won a
what?
No,
A golf
Campbell
tournament?
Soup notoriety.
No, you know what? Chad Campbell was the guy that Sean McKeel beat in the PGA at whatever in whatever year when Sean McKeel hit it to like 2 inches on 18.
I think you guys are making up names.
Chad Campbell and Kenny Perry were in a playoff with Angel Cabrera won 2 Masters though, didn't he?
No.
No? Maybe he finished second and one to someone?
Yeah, he lost in a playoff. I saw Adam Scott beat him in a playoff.
There we go. I was making
Chad Campbell did win the Tour Championship.
Okay.
I mean, you look at the list of who's won post like the VJ, Tiger, Phil, like stretches that
The early
they just won.
2000s, yeah.
Yeah, I mean Zach Johnson, Trevor Immerman, Charles Schwartzel, Bubba, Adam Scott, Spieth, Willett, Sergio, Patrick Reed, Dustin Johnson. Like until you get to DJ, it's like the crafty veteran. Like even.
Now, the last 5 years it's been, well, I guess Tiger doesn't really count, but like DJ, Decky, Scotty, Rahm, like literally almost the number one player in the world has won.
Yeah.
Decky wasn't, but he's
correct.
Mr. Consistent.
But he was not in great form when he finally won.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like that just speaks to the experience piece of it.
Of course. Well, speaking of, do you think it's time to give the listeners some tips on who to play if they're gonna throw a little money down this week at Augusta?
Yeah, we should probably talk about that.
Chad Campbell.
Chad Campbell.
What do you think?
Mike, you've been talking so much. You need some beer, I think.
I'm down in shooters over here.
How sad is Chad Campbell every year?
Did you try this one?
That he doesn't get to play. Like he was a playoff hole away from being in the Masters every year for the rest of his life.
Life changing. I don't know that it's.
And instead, a guy that was in prison for 4 years beat him and doesn't even get to take advantage of that.
I don't know that it changes anything monetarily for Chad Campbell, but gosh, you get to roll up to Augusta every year. You always have that.
Yes.
Can you find Angel Cabrera's menu when it's from his champion dinner while I read this off? Just curious. All right, so far
it'd probably be pretty good Argentinian steak. I would assume.
Big fan of Argentinian food right now. And wine. So far, leading the way, we have 2 gentlemen at 53% mention share. Sahith Theegala, who had a great finish as a debutante last year, 39 on the MPI at 7,700 salary, and then to no surprise, Scotty Scheffler, 12-1 on the salary, 95 so far in the Power Index. So Power Index strongly on Scotty's side. I don't think that surprises anyone. Right behind them, we have Russell Henley. Good finish here last year, 7,200 salary, 47% mention share, 57 MPI. So not doing too bad. And then we have a gaggle of folks at 42% mention share. Decky, Shane Lowry, Siwoo Kim, and Xander, all people that have had some decent finishes in the past. Obviously, Deku with the win. And then I think are getting a little bit of betting love this week as well. So just to highlight quickly who's on Sahith so far, we have Andy Lack, Essert over at the Athletic, Pat Mayo has mentioned him, Brandon Gadula, Fleming at Fantasy Six Pack. So a good cross section of our DFS community.
I like Sahith this week. He gets to show up in his sophomore year, which at least sheds some of the bad juju out there, right? Like you said, he had a good year as a debutante, but now anything goes. He can win this week. He couldn't win last year. He could win this year, and he certainly has the short game, the around the green play, the pop putting potential. Like he's got the
Jordan Spieth magic.
He's got the Jordan Spieth magic beans. He absolutely does. He's all over the place off the tee, which Augusta forgives. And in the case that he actually does find his way, he's going to rely on a strong short game. And so, no surprise here. The other thing too is I'll say, like he's projecting right now at 18% ownership. Like you got to adjust your ownership expectations a little bit this week in DFS because you only have 89 players and 20 of them nobody is playing. So there just aren't. It's almost kind of like a no-cut event. You don't have the 140 guys to absorb all that ownership. So 18% is kind of middle of the road for a guy with plenty of win potential.
Yeah, 9th last year, So we brought up the magic beans, not to digress a little bit, but we didn't talk about Spieth hitting it off the clubhouse. So is Heath gonna like purposely hit like one off a tree this week and
no, I'm right in a Butler cabin.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, most certainly. I don't know, Kyle. You want to start with a couple? I mean,
yeah. So obviously it's another Tiscotty or not Tiscotty. We've talked that to death the last month or so, but I'm hopeful people might get a little cute this week, especially with the live guys. You know, kind of the new shiny objects. Looking at ownership so far, you know, if we can get Scotty under 30%, I really like that.
You got to remember that Scotty is basically doubling up every other the next closest person in terms of ball striking. So like, I don't care what folks are pulling together around live stats and all that. Like, Scotty is by far the best player in the field. So to your point, if you get him under 30%, there's a lot you can do. And his price is only 12-1. Now we don't have the 5K range this week.
Yeah.
But there's so much value 7,500 and below in the Masters field that like it's an absolute lock to play Scotty this week. And I'm not. Yeah, you're right. If he's gonna be 28% owned, sign me up.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the last 5 times he's been out, 3rd, 10th, 1st, 2nd. And the last 4 times he's played the Masters, 19th, 18th, 1st, and 10th.
Yeah.
He's going to be there on Sunday. And I've seen some great advice around this from some of the community this week, too. If you're somebody that doesn't normally bet golf, if you're not, you know, like sickos or like into it as much as we are, and just looking to bet the Masters, just go bet Scotty 450.
And just have have a ticket.
Yeah. You bet $10 and go on 45 if he wins.
Yeah.
And then at least you have something to look on and look forward to on Sunday. So
I do think in a large, you know, mass multi-entry GPP, I will definitely play plenty of lineups with Scotty and plenty of lineups without Scotty, just as a bit of a hedge in case things go sideways. But my expected result is that he's top 5 this week.
Yeah, and I think that's a good conversation around strategy a little bit too. I will have a larger GPP style contest. I always love my single entries, and then my cashes will have all Scotty. My single entries, I'll probably do 2 lineups, one with, one without, and then I'm with you, Mike. Probably 50% of the field, and just you know, but a little bit overweight on Scotty, but doing some, but not all. Beyond that, I do like Russell Henley at 48% mention share, 57 on the MPI. We haven't talked about Calcutta yet, but that is something we're gonna
got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, we'll report back. Stand by for some tweets tomorrow, possibly about as well. But yeah, you know, again, a guy it's had the ability to pop here. He's had a 4th last year.
6 straight made cuts.
Had
5 top 20s essentially.
Yeah, he's had 4th 2 of the last 3 times out in the field. So I just think, you know, the high upside, or I guess the high floor, I should say, is there with Russ. And only being at the price point he is, $7,200 allows you to do a little bit of different things with a build.
Gosh, if he comes in like low teens, 10 to 12% or so,
well, and
feels like a steal.
And the thing in that low 7K range, yeah, I mean, you have Siwoo, you have Patrick Reed, you have Harris English, you have Akshay, who people are going to. I think there's just a lot of people that are garner attention this week. Even Adam Scott, somebody with some course history here, Corey Connors. So some of those guys are going to get some steam, and you're going to have plenty of lineups that are Scotty and 5 of those guys because you can fit that in. Mm-hmm. But I think it's just going to spread it out from an ownership perspective.
Yeah.
So if you just kind of pick your guy you like, and then fade 2 of those, you can still make that work. And then, I can't believe I'm saying this, to be honest, but I'm intrigued by an $8,600 Tony Finau. 36% mention share so far, so he's getting some love. He's pretty strong on the MPI. Jeff Aldrich's on him, Coughlin. He was 2nd in Houston, and the last 5 times he's played Augusta, 26th and 35th, which isn't going to win you much, but he does have a 10th, he does have a 5th, He doesn't have a missed cut in his last 5 times out.
So
And
this is his 6th time playing here?
I think he has it. Data Golf tells me he has 6 rounds here.
I just wrote down his last 5. So I don't know how he did as a debutante.
But,
Why do we say
but he's-
debutante here?
But he's right in. Oh,
10th.
no one says debutante, but you.
2018.
No, they all say debutante.
They always say debutante. This is the
I
South.
thought you said here, just like us.
No.
Kyle,
So,
I'm with you on Tony.
I'm intrigued by Tony.
If you listen to Rick Gaiman's podcast this week, he is all over Tony Finau. Not many guys have been better on approach, gaining literally back to the British Open last year outside of the Valspar, where he did miss the cut at the Valspar, but he has been a cut-making machine. He's been a top 20 machine. He's got plenty of length, as we know, and he's just killing the heck out of his irons right now. Obviously, with Tony, it comes down to the short game. There's been times where he has been awful, and there's been times that he has been average. And so I think with Tony this week, you said $8,600. He's the 2nd or 3rd guy into your lineups. You're hoping for an average week around the greens, and you hope he just hits 58 greens this week.
And I think, yeah, you bring up a good point there about when Tony goes into your lineup too, because I'm not normally a huge. This is something Mike and I go back and forth on all the time, and not just golf, but baseball and NHL, DFS too, his ownership, game theory, all that kind of stuff. I feel like sometimes it gets overcooked, but if there's any place I completely buy into zigging while people zag, it is here. Just with the very small, limited field, and with so many people that are just not in contention at all, I think if you can find somebody that either has great form here, but hasn't maybe been on top of the game that you can get at lower ownership, like a Finau, I think that makes a lot of sense. Or if you can find a guy that doesn't have great form here, but has been playing really well, that can pop and get you a top 10, that makes a lot of sense too. Because if everyone's playing the same 60 guys, I think this is the week it does make sense to try to go against the grain.
Yeah. Well, I don't have many against the grain plays for you. I do think the other guy in our model right now that is charting out high right now, he's the top spot in the power index is Xander Schauffele. I'm looking at riding Xander Schauffele all the way to a top T2 this week. I don't think he's going to win. Xander Schauffele doesn't win majors, but he definitely finishes top 5. Last 6 times out for Xander at the Masters: 10th cut, 3rd, 17th, 2nd, and 50th. He's on this incredible cut streak, and not just an incredible cut streak. He's got a T5, a T2, a T25, and a T4 in his last 4 events, gaining in all 4 phases of the game. I mean, he's an absolute lock for the top 10 this week. It's just, it depends on where you want to play him. And at $9,900, he can be a second guy in. You absolutely could go Scheffler and Xander. You can go Rahm and Xander. He's a second guy in at $9,900. I think he's going to pay off his ownership at 22% or whatever he's going to be. I will have plenty of him this week. I don't know what to say about him. I think he's a lock in most of my lineups, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, you're right there. I did play around with lineups a little bit today on what builds could look like. Scotty, Xander, you can go Denny, Siwoo, Henley, and Fleetwood.
I like this.
That's gonna be.
I like it.
It's gonna be chalk as can be.
I like that. You got good handwriting there.
It's my little cheat sheet. So one other guy we talked about, Shane Lowry. He's one of 4 that have a top 25 or better at the Masters in 3 straight. So I think he's going to get seamed up a little bit. But the guy that is in there that I don't think anyone is going to play, one of those 4, is Colin Morikawa. Only $8,400, has not been good.
Not just good. Not good. Yeah. Terrible.
It's terrible. He is 18th, 5th, and 10th the last 3 times out at the Masters, but who knows what you're going to get. But if you want to pivot to a guy that has good course history here that you hope can find it, maybe Cullen's your guy. I don't know if I can make that click.
5% in the RTG model as far as expert attention right now. I don't expect that to get much higher. I agree with you. Like, you could get really weird this week if you wanted from a, we'll call it stud standpoint of you want to play Colin, you want to play JT. Like, there are guys here that are just not playing well in general that have pretty good Augusta history. You can get some decent ownership rate. I will definitely have some kind of extreme contrarian lineup out there that's playing all these guys together because things can get sideways.
You know, is your contrarian lineup going to be Liv? You going to do a full Liv lineup?
No, I'm not going to do a full Liv lineup. Why would that be such a thing? That's what Mike's going to do in RTG.
Yeah, I probably will.
Yeah.
I probably will. Can I call out? Can I shout out one other guy? So we do.
Don't steal my guy.
I don't think I'm going to steal your guy.
We should probably let Jordan have some plays here.
What do you got, Jordan?
You know, I would like to go way down the board for someone.
I might steal your guy.
For someone that the model likes but isn't getting a lot of love. Cam Davis.
Okay. Tell me what you like about Cam Davis.
I like that someone that's smarter than me has picked him, and our model likes him.
Let me tell you.
He's only been here once. He made the cut. I think top 40-ish finish. I have it open here. What do you get? He got 46.
Yep.
Didn't shoot below 73 in those 4 rounds, but yeah, you know, I just like to show off these people way down the board that are getting love from someone in our model that does pretty good.
Who is that someone, Jordan?
Gannon. I looked it up.
Matt Gannon.
I actually looked over there.
Matt Gannon
could have told you Matt, or I don't know what
our,
SPGN is, but
Matt Gannon is our top contributing expert of the year so far. He's new for us in 2024. Let me read the first sentence and a half.
Is that what you were going to talk about?
I have it up because this is important to me. As the Cam Davis truther that I am, I believe he is going to pick off an elite field in an elite event sooner rather than later.
All right.
That's about as deep as it gets. Now, Gannon has been great this year. So if you just want to trust Gannon in his 3 picks every week, I would say just tail the hell out of it because he's been awesome.
Done. RTG lineup getting updated right now.
There's literally no data to back why he likes Cam Davis this week other than the fact that he is a Cam Davis truther. Let me tell you a little bit more about Cam Davis recently. I mean, he did finish 21st at the Houston Open, but he was cut at the Players, 18th at the API, 49th at the Genesis, 20th at the AT&T. That's okay, but Cam Davis golf is to hit it extremely far and extremely inaccurate. He's been well below average distance-wise in his last 6 events. I have no idea why.
How's his around the green play?
He decided to take a little off.
Not good. Not good. Average at best. Losing stroke. I mean, the Players, again, people go sideways at the Players. That's okay. But very average and not long. So I love that Gannon's on Davis this week. I have no idea why, and the data doesn't tell me that I should be on him.
I can't wait to win RTG with him this week.
Well, so Gannon's other plays are Scotty and Siwoo, which I do like as well. So Scotty, Siwoo, and if Cam Davis, and then he's got a fan for life. If Cam Davis gives me top 15 this week,
yep.
I'm not saying don't. I think this is why we do what we do. Mm-hmm. We follow the guys that are good. We know Gannon is good. Yeah. In Davis, we trust.
With no logic behind his pick, other than
1 point.
Someday he's going to do something good.
I tell you what, you want to get Cam Davis at 1.66% ownership this week in a large contest?
I have to play him.
You got to be in.
I'm playing him somewhere. I appreciate you, Matt Gannon. We're in.
All right. Anything else? Yeah, I want to get to name game. You guys got anything else on the board here, guys? You want to talk up?
I did my menu look up. So you.
Did we talk about Matt Fitzpatrick here?
No, go ahead.
Have we talked about it, Fitzy? His course history here is like he hasn't had those high end finishes, but he has been a cut maker, top 30 machine with a 4th, a 10th, and a 7th as well. So I think he's sneaky, and I think he's also sneakily creeping up the ownership. I really liked him earlier in the week, but again, he's in that Shane Lowry, Matt Fitzpatrick, Sahith range in the upper 7s, and Shane's at 8. But where I think people go Scotty, and then they end up just going to drop down and get that, or they're going to go Xander, another one, and then end up in that range again too. So just from, if you're trying to build things perspective, where I don't see people landing really is the 8s. I think the mid to upper 8s. It's hard to build lineups with where the model is showing people.
You'd almost have to go.
No Cam Smith.
Well, you'd almost have to go if you're
900.
going to be Scotty or you're going to be Rom. You almost have to skip the 9s to get to the 8s.
Correct.
Because you're not going to grab Scotty, Xander. I mean, you could go Scotty, Xander, Cam, or DJ in the high 8s and then just go right down to the low 6s. But that's pretty much the only path.
Correct, and that's not, especially here. You need the upside. Right?
Yeah,
So,
you need the upside in the 7s. So I hear you.
One question: are we selling Wyndham short?
Gosh.
And he's not getting. He's got two
intrigued.
votes.
Let's come back
10,000.
to this. I have a question.
Oh wait, before we go on, Masters menus. I mean, you asked old ones. One, Tiger Woods is a boring dude. He's had steak and chicken fajitas at least 2, maybe 3. In 2002 and 2003, he had the same menu: porterhouse, chicken, and sushi. Mike Weir probably has the best mix of elk, boar, and Arctic char.
He made the most out of his Canadian heritage.
And Canadian beer. That was his drink.
That is great.
VJ had some curry, a Thai coconut soup, some Chilean sea bass with chili sauce. That was a good one. Who was the last person to serve paella?
Old Fable.
Phil Mickelson. Sevi was undergoing cancer treatment, so he did it to honor him.
Okay.
Thoughtful. But Phil's meals are also one of the, he did an Italian menu one time, lobster. He did a barbecue menu. Just like someone that has no,
He's like,
no home base.
I'm gonna win a lot.
He's like,
It's gonna be
whatever.
different themes.
Whatever. I have no core conviction on food, so let me just go all over the place.
So for next year, challenge for us 3 next year, we need to come with our own Masters.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah.
Maybe we could just make it Masters weekend.
Yes, we should. A traveling Masters party.
That's a great idea.
I was supposed to do the Azalea cocktail tonight. My apologies, y'all. Mike reminded me when he got here that I was supposed
where's the Azalea cocktail? I expected it to be laid on my way in.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Also sneaky, Adam Scott had Australian Wagyu New York strips with Australian lobsters also. Pretty good.
How are Australian
Just
lobsters?
Some
Is there
Moreton
kangaroo
Bay
included in there?
bugs.
Tasmanian devil? I don't know.
All right, you guys want to do name game?
Yes.
We're running extremely long, but it's Masters.
Wait, I thought you had a bunch of questions you wanted to ask.
I do. We'll
us.
get to that after that.
Oh, after
we got
name
the
game.
lightning round after name game. I want to get to name game. So last week we had more of a traditional name game at the Valero. We had 6 Bens, 5 Kevins, and 6-ish Ryans. And I don't know what we're doing here, Kyle. The listeners win, so they got to pick last. So they just get the scraps, and they win again. And so this brings the tally on the season to, I'm still leading with 6 wins, but the listeners have 5. Kyle, you have 3, and Jordan, I love this. You're still winless.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do.
If I pick last, if I pick first, if I just say you guys pick for me.
I need to not go near Ryan Fox anymore. Any DFS betting, anything. Yeah.
This week, you won't have to worry about that. This week we're gonna rename the holes at Augusta. So as you guys know, every hole at Augusta's got a name. You know, some courses have that, and at Augusta they're named after trees. So this week we're gonna rename some of those holes after kind of player-inspired names that are
I like it.
kind of similar to
Very
what we already
creative here, Mike.
We made some stretches, but some of these are funny. So we got Team 1, Sahith Thegala. It will be Sahith Thegnolia, Magnolia, hole number 5. Adam Scott, T. Olive, hole number 1 at Augusta, because olive is probably one of Adam Scott's favorite colors. And Dustin Johnson.
That's a stretch there.
Good one.
Dustin Johnson, the South Carolina Cherry, is hole number 9. Team 2, Tyrrell Hatton, the Flowering Crab Apple, hole number 4. Russell Henley, hole number 3, Flowering Peach. And Cameron Young, Camellia Young, his mom, actually, Camellia, hole number 10.
The more you know.
Team 3, Justin Thomas, makes his home in Juniper, Florida. It's hole number 6. Sergio Garcia, Azalea, his daughter's name, that he named after he won the Masters, hole number 13. And Tommy Fleetwood might be renaming hole to Tommy Dogwood, pink or white, holes number 2 and 11. Team number 4, Will Zalatoris, the Golden Bell, hole number 12. Patrick Reed, Pomp Ass, or Pompous, as you might know hole number 7 by. And Phil Mickelson, hole number 15, Firethorn, might be an apropos nickname.
Well done, Mike. Well done.
Juniper, Florida, not an actual city.
No. Jupiter Beach?
Jupiter, yes.
Yeah, this is well done. I'm impressed.
All right, well, you're first, Kyle. You are first. You finished in last week. You decided to take Ben Silverman, Kevin Chappell, and Ryan Fox, and that wound you up in last place. So fire away.
Ryan Fox.
Fire away. I felt like I in these teams had. I mean, there's really one team I think is the right answer.
You would.
Everyone else has kind of 2 yeses and a crap.
I think this is an interesting. I'm clearly not taking Team 4.
But Willie Z, he's a lock for a top
I know
5.
that's a tease for me. My boy Willie Z.
Phil's been top 5 in every live tournament.
Yeah, he shot like a 90 like 2 weeks ago.
Doesn't matter. He turns it on.
But then he did shoot like a 68 the next day.
I
might be a little extreme on both of those numbers. I'm going to take Team 2.
I think that's the right answer.
Mr. Angry at the World, Augusta. Flowering Crab. That's actually kind of funny. You called it.
Yeah, Flowering Crab. That's the best one in there.
Yeah, that's well done.
23.3 on the total salary, everything between 23,000 and 23,600.
I would have guessed you like number 1 the best.
No, I think Team 2 was the best. I think Team 2 is the best team.
Yeah.
So I think you picked right.
So for the listeners,
Team 1 is second.
That's Tyrrell Hatton, Russell Henley, and Cameron Young.
All right, Jordan, you're
Team
second.
1. Not even a question.
I think that's
I
right.
have zero interest in Justin Thomas or Sergio Garcia or Patrick Reed and Phil Mickelson.
So Jordan
and
takes Sahith, Adam Scott, and DJ.
I have to take Team 3 with Thomas, Garcia, and Fleetwood. At least those are guys that you would be okay seeing in the top 10 at the end of the week. Zalatoris, obviously, but Reed and Mickelson, it's just, what are you going to get? I know Reed plays awesome here.
How is he only $400 more than Phil Mickelson?
It's I mean, at the end of the day...
Yeah, you finished second last year with the Sunday of...
I'll tell you what.
Fountain of Youth.
If the listeners pull this one off, the rest of my week is in trouble.
Oh, yes, 100%. I mean, I probably will get a Willie Z share somewhere, but yeah.
All right, Kyle. The Masters betting card. I know you got some action. I even have some action bets.
Ooh! Oh wait, I have action.
Ooh. Right, everyone's got action.
How long ago did I make those bets?
It's one of those things.
Where was I?
The odds are
San
out
Diego.
there.
No,
Arizona, I think. The odds are out there. They've been out there for months. And so, as we've all been traveling
I forgot
over
about
the winter,
those.
we've been throwing bets in. They're out there.
I forgot about my futures odds. I didn't even have those on my better card.
So that's part of the challenge, especially living in a state that doesn't have betting. So you have to bet whenever you're out of town.
Yeah.
You don't get to take advantage of the market of where it's at. So you're just kind of subject to the market, whatever it is, of when you're in a legalized betting state. So
and those future odds just
and those future odds, like there's guys like Neiman that opened at 70. That have been bet down to, I don't know what he's at now, 20, 30, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, 20 somewhere.
So you have guys that have just been bet down. I took Chris Kirk at 100 back when I was out of town 3 months ago, and I get him at 150.
Well, because Chris Kirk is our boy, first off. But the second, the there's a crossover for the Century and winners because who won at the Century last year?
Cameron Smith, John Rahm,
and then the Masters.
Yeah.
And then Cameron Smith won and then finished second.
Yep.
So we're going for that crossover for Chris Kirk, everyone.
Chris Kirk put on the green jacket will be something interesting.
Oh, we will celebrate Sunday like we're meeting up Sunday evening and we're having fun. Because I also have two. I've doubled down to Chris Kirk for my. I got 5 units on him at 100, and then did another unit at 150. In addition to our Calcutta shares, which would be great. So then the bets I did this week. By the way, I had a very good betting week in Chicago last week.
I'm glad to hear it.
I parlayed everything I could with the Dodgers beating the Cubs on Saturday, and I should have parlayed Scotty. I'm really frustrated I didn't, but like Cubs in South Carolina, the Cubs in Akshay, it was great. Anyway, so I got Brooks at 20-1.
It's a good number.
3.5 units.
Great number.
He actually has moved up to 22 in some spots now. And then I have Corey Connors at 90. Those are the only 2 bets I have in as of now. I'm going to fire somewhere else. I just have not decided to kind of wait to see how things shake out. Wyndham Clark, yes, he's a debutante, but he's up to 40. And
what did I text you guys like 2 months ago? Like I highlighted him at 65 and was like, gotta hammer this.
Yeah, but like 40 just, and for a guy that's finished second the last 2 times out to Scotty, like
debutant. Is he the guy that breaks it?
But he's
50
years
years
long.
later.
He can put lights out. Like
no, I know the profile makes sense.
He won there's. When's the last time we had a U.S. Open champion come beat the debutante? I would like.
No,
to
it's a very rare circumstance what's going on with him. I agree with that.
So I think a 40 is a crazy number there. A lot of people are hopping on the Shane Lowry train at 55. I thought about it, but 55 doesn't quite seem like good.
I think I'd rather take Clark at 40 than Shane at 55.
And I actually, the other guy at 55, I think I'd rather take is Cameron Young, Mr. Second Place. Yes, but every guy that's Mr. Second Place, Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, they eventually do it.
I would love to fire again up the board, but Rory's coming back. I'm not going to bet at Rory. Rahm's coming up. Right now it's like 400, 500 Scotty, 11-1 on Rory and Rahm, Xander 14, Decade 20. I'm not inspired by any of that. Any of the guys 20 to 30 really don't do it for me. So I don't know. I'm open to ideas, but I'm kind of looking at 40, 50s, maybe taking 2 of those guys. I can fit 2 in on my card and still be at the 7-1. So.
Jordan, you got bets.
Yeah, all over the place.
I'm excited to hear this.
Get ready for this.
Yeah.
I have Spieth and Thomas. These are 2 separate bets. Both to finish top 10 in all 4 majors this year.
Spieth and Thomas? What kind of odds did you get on that?
40 plus 4,000 on Spieth plus 6,500 on Thomas.
I mean, it can happen.
Yeah, I don't mind JT, to be honest.
I've got Wyndham Clark to win any major in 2024.
Can you do the numbers with these? Because these are...
Plus 1,000.
Okay.
I actually have 5, 6
Jordan was
PGA Championship bets that I don't even remember placing.
Jordan was just drunk one night in bed.
Yeah.
Betting $1 at a time.
I have Tyrrell Hatton at plus 5,000. What's he at now?
For the Masters.
Yeah.
He's got to be lower. No, maybe that.
But I also have Sung Jae at plus 4,000.
That seems too low.
Yeah. Hatton is 6.
He's at plus 10,000 now. Because this I
Sung Jae is 120.
Yeah. So wait, what's Hatton?
6.
Okay, so I did these back in February. I have Chris Kirk at 10,000. I have Willie Z at 2,200.
Yeah.
And then I have the Timberwolves to be the Western Conference winner.
Just regular season or finals?
Fine. Playoffs.
Okay.
I also have Chris Finch to be Coach of the Year. I did bet the Northwest Division to win the finals, because then that is OKC, Denver, or the
There's
Timberwolves.
divisions in basketball?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have no idea.
There's 3 in each. 3 in each?
Oh.
Should we move on?
I have Chet Holmgren to win Rookie of the Year, Minnesota guy.
I didn't mean for you to exhaust your entire DraftKings Sportsbook.
And I have Timberwolves as the finals winners at plus 2200.
So welcome to Jordan after 6 beers in Arizona.
I won like one bet. I won a parlay while we were down there.
Yeah, so
and then I just went stupid.
Yeah.
But that also, it's a good thing that like 2 months ago, Sungjae still had a chance. And he's played like total shit since then. And gone.
It's not a good thing. It's a bad thing.
No, but like, it's an interest, just like these futures bets. Scotty, I probably would have gotten a good number for, better number for back then.
Correct. It's not
than
that
doing now.
I mean, some of those could hit. You could have just gotten much better numbers this week.
By waiting.
This is unfortunate. Give it 6 weeks though. We might be able to do things.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I want to finish with one more bit before we close things out.
You're outright. Did you talk about
Kirk and Zal.
Kirk, okay.
Yeah, Kirk and Zal. I have tickets in on. I wish I would have taken Hoagie. I don't think he's in the field actually. Never mind.
No, he's not.
He's not in the field. He slipped out of the top 50. He had to play. He had to play well at the Houston, and I think he petered out. So all right, Masters Lightning Round. I got questions for both of you guys. 4 questions each. Quick answers. Don't deliberate too much, and they're different for each of you. So Kyle,
your session over there.
Kyle, I'm gonna start with you.
Session. Yeah.
Oh.
One player in the field that made you do a double take when you realized they were in the Masters field this week.
Angel Cabrera. Sorry.
Piss Bear. Bjorn Olsen.
Bear.
Why is he?
You got the special invite.
You got the special invite
with Rio and Joaquin.
Yeah, well, I remembered that he got that, but I'm like, I feel like he's somebody I've tried to play and bet. So far this year, this has been awful.
Bad.
Yeah. So I'm like, I remember that he got the invite, but at first I'm like, well, what's that based on?
Wait,
Yeah.
How did Joaquin get a special invite but not Taylor Gooch?
Because he won.
Because he played other golf tournaments.
Yeah, he won.
Oh yeah, he did all the Asia ones,
yeah.
right? To
Well,
get
and then he can still play some of the DP
Yeah,
stuff.
the guy for me, Adam Schenk. Adam Schenk's playing the Masters this week. I think he was, whatever he was, 48, 49, 50 when the invites went out in the OWGR. He's 51 now. Must have just been inside the number when so Adam Schenk's playing in the field for...
So it was post-Houston he was in, and now Valero.
Yeah.
So.
Which is just, I mean, I don't want to start a huge debate, but like Adam Schenk is playing the Masters on merit. Like...
Yeah. Why did our boy Dietrich? He got up to 56, I think, and then he withdrew from.
This guy, he had a date. I don't know. His wife's.
What? If he, I think he top 3'd. I think I saw that if he would have top 3'd at Valero, he would have been in.
I can't tell you. I know. We got one bullet this week in Calcutta. Jordan, winning score over under 276, which would be -12. The historical average is -9, but the last 12 years, 11.5. We over or under -12 this year.
over being 13, 14.
Okay. More under par.
Yeah. The golfers are they're good. They're getting better.
Numbers have been kind of crazy lately.
Yeah. Someone's going to get hot, put off, and no one's going to get Denny McCarthy 8 out of 9 birdies. But someone will do it.
And then the weather. I think we're going to get some rain.
Soften it up a little bit.
It's been dry, but we're going to get rain Wednesday kind of a lot. Maybe into Thursday. It's going to be soft. But maybe some wind on Friday. But I think...
The scoring is going to be good.
I think Thursday, Saturday, Sunday scoring is going to be good. Friday is going to be...
Kyle, number of live players that finish in the top 10?
3.
3. Winner, yes or no?
Well, I bet 1 to win. I want that for the record. But no, Scotty's going to win.
Okay. 3 in the top 10. Winner, no. Jordan, does Tiger play the weekend?
That's a good point. We have very little Tiger talk here tonight.
I know
Yeah,
Kyle
okay.
wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm going to say yes, barring him having to withdraw.
Do you want him to play the weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
23 consecutive made cuts at Augusta. Never missed a cut at Augusta for Tiger.
Crazy.
The concern is just, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no. He does have one mention in the model.
he does. I think I might reach out to the person that mentioned and ask for some rationale because it was in a list.
Okay.
So
From In Between Media,
yeah,
Coughlin.
Connor Coughlin. I'm going to ask for some rationale there on why he thinks Tiger and Phil were worth mentioning as low tier leverage plays. Kyle. Brandel Chambly says that the upper echelon of the PGA Tour is underperforming because they are focused on other things other than golf. Cantlay, Colin, Tommy, Max, Fitz, Vic, Keegan, Rory. Who finishes the best? Colin, Cantlay, Fleetwood, Max, Fitz, Vic, Keegan, Rory. Fitz.
Rory.
I think
That's what I would have said, but
Well, I think Rory's going to have an okay week, but I think he's going to have a Rory at the Masters week where he struggles a little bit Thursday or Friday, makes a cut, and then has a great round on Saturday or Sunday where
he's in the mix.
Fitz just is going to be a sneakily like top 8,
Okay.
top 6. But I also play Fitz a lot and it never works out. So,
Jordan, does a debutante win this year?
No.
Now that you know what a debutante is. Wyndham Clark, I mean, you asked.
I don't think he wins, but I think
he plays
he's
well.
a solid DFS play.
Okay, all right. Kyle, who are you cheering for on Sunday? Put everything aside. Who are you cheering for on Sunday?
This is a very good question. Well, I can't put everything aside because I'm cheering for Chris Kirk. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Fair enough. All right, Chris Kirk. And
Well, if somebody besides Chris Kirk has to win, and it's not based on DFS or anything, I probably want Willie.
okay,
Z.
Willie Z. Jordan, who are you cheering for on Sunday?
Well, I mean, whoever we buy in the Calcutta tomorrow night.
I know. And I knew it was. This betting has ruined sports entertainment.
No, completely neutral for me. It's Will.
Okay.
I would like to see. I'd be good with Will.
What about you?
I'm kind of weird like this. Like
You want Rory?
Koepka.
Really?
I want Koepka for the drama. Has been, the bravado gets me in majors. This is one that he's contended at, but never got over the hill. The live narrative, like
I thought you would want Rory for this time.
It seemed. I mean, yes, and I will be there when Rory was running up the leaderboard with the 64 a couple of years ago. He was the guy I wanted all day long, and I thought he was going to do it. To me, but for me, I think it's Brooks 1 and maybe Rory 1A.
I see. I mean, I bet Brooks obviously, but I do not want Brooks.
I would.
But that's a sicko. That's like
Yeah.
I kind of want the disruption, but yeah, that's my gut reaction.
That's a very Mike thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Rahm winning again. I still like him. He's been very genuine in all his interviews and everything. Like,
Yeah.
Minus the part he always just seems
Well-
to leave out the fact that he forgets that they just deposited
$500 million.
bajillion dollars into
Yeah.
his bank account.
You know who I don't want anywhere? I would actively root for missing the cut. Bryson.
No!
Fuck off.
Come on, that would be.
Well, we all just need to come back together. This divide.
Yeah,
It's
he's a
fuck
troll.
you, dude. You created it.
Yeah, now that I got my paycheck, it's gotta get back together.
All right. Well, any final takes? I mean, don't open up a new can of worms here, but final takes for the week.
Well, I did a quick look at people that I was surprised was in there, and I saw Camilo Villegas because he won last year.
Yeah, he won in Mexico.
Yeah.
So
Not
he's
Mexico, somewhere else.
so he's there 9 years in between Masters appearances. That's got to be the longest of anyone that's in the field.
That's pretty long.
So you mentioned Adam Schenk. and the reason I bring him up, he is the cheapest guy with a mention so far on the board. Next to Denny McCarthy, who is starting to get a little steam this week just because of last week, and the pricing came out before. So that's my last little tidbit for you, $6,200. The last two names that are getting mentioned so far.
All right, well, we'll leave you all there. This has been a long show. We hope you hung with us. This is by far the best week of golf for the entire, best 2 weeks. I started getting the jitters 2 weeks ago of just knowing that it was around the corner. So follow us on Twitter. There will be stuff all week on what's going on with the Masters at RTG Podcast DFS. You can follow us on YouTube, Reading the Green, and any major podcast platform. We have episodes out every Wednesday morning, and we'll be back in a week with the results of the Masters. We'll bring back the wheel of discussion topics and have some a great breakdown of the event, and of course look ahead to the RBC at Harbortown. See ya.